Hello everyone and welcome back to Double Sleeved. Today we're covering the final starter for Zenkai and wrapping up our deck ideas for this set as well. As always, we'll jump into the next set when we start getting the reveals. But this list today is brought to you by Gary. Future Trunks has a special place in his heart, so he did want to jump in to make this deck. But let's go through the leader and then start going through the cards and see why he put these cards in. Starting off with our leader, we've got a permanent. So during our opponent's turn, if we would add a card from life to our hand or place it in the drop, we may reveal it and then add it to our hand instead, which is really great against early crit. Since they're not going to the drop area, we can reveal them and then add them to our hand. But we've got numerous effects that allow us to ramp energy and things like that when they are revealed from life. So that definitely comes in handy. Auto, when this card attacks, look at the top 5 cards of the deck, add a Saiyan or Earthling card, both blue with an energy cost of 4 or less, or a blue unison with a specified cost of 2 among them to your hand, and then shuffle. So we've got a lot of cards that we can hit within this deck that are super relevant for our strategy. It's great being able to see the unison or the 4 or less Saiyan or Earthling if we need. So a lot of targets, which is always really good, keeps the deck consistent. Awaken, when a player's life is at 4 or less, or a player has 3 or more Z energy, you may draw 1, switch one of your energy to active mode. Again, really good against those aggressive decks that need a lot of Z energy, but having that alternate as well of when either player's at 4 is really good too. Just gives us a couple of different conditions to awaken. On our awaken side, we have the same permanent, so if we're taking life from to hand or drop area, we may reveal it and then add it to hand. When we attack, we draw 1, and we've got an auto. At the end of your turn, switch up to one of your mono blue energy to active mode. Again, really good, just being able to get that extra energy. We're not going to be able to utilize it throughout our turn like Soul Striker, but we do get it on our opponent's turn so that we can use our good blue defensive cards. Then we've got to activate main once per turn for 2 blue energy. We draw 1 card, choose one of our opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. Additionally, if you have a mono blue Z battle card with an energy cost of 5 or more in play, this card gets 10,000 power, so plus 10,000 power and double strike for the turn. Again, some great removal built into the leader for 2 energy that you're going to get one of them back at the end of the turn, just to be able to draw a card and remove something that doesn't have barrier is really good. And then the added threat of a 25k double strike is always really good. Moving into the deck, we've got Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku, Hope for the Future. This is a 1-drop 4k with a permanent. During your opponent's turn, if all of your energy is mono blue, you would reveal this card from your life, add it to your hand, and add it to your hand. You may play it instead. When it gets played, we draw a card, and then we've got an auto for 1 blue energy. If your leader is a Trunks Future and it's your opponent's turn, when this card is used in a combo, you may add 1 of your energy to your hand. If you do, add 1 card from your hand to your energy. Really good for the next couple of cards that we're going to go over, starting off with Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Blaze of Passion. So it's a 3-drop 20k, but we've got a permanent. During your opponent's turn, if all of your energy is mono blue and you would reveal this card from life to hand, you may place it in your energy in rest mode instead. If you do, draw 1. Auto at the end of your next turn after you place this card in your energy with this card's skill. If this card is in your energy, place it in the owner's drop area. So a great way to reveal this card from our life, get the extra energy, and then we can start cycling the cards out of our energy so that we can maintain that ramp rather than losing it to the auto. The more energy that we have, the more plays that we can do, the more things we can do defensively and offensively. So it's great to be able to hit this card, have an extra energy on our turn, and if we can somehow get it back to our hand and out of the energy, then we can maintain that extra one as well. The Goku is pretty much the exact same permanent. We draw a card, place it in our energy and draw a card, and at the end of the turn of our turn, we remove it from our energy if it's still in there. Again, just another great card that we can get out with a couple of the different cards throughout the deck, and just stay 1 energy above our opponent. Trunks Never Ending Justice, a championship pack card from a little while ago now. It's been a while since we've seen some of these. It's a 4-drop 15k blocker. Permanent. During your opponent's turn, all your energy is mono blue. You would reveal this card from your life and add it to your hand. You may play it instead. And when it gets played, choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards and return them to the owner's hand. So no energy requirement. We just straight up get to play a 15k blocker and bounce 2 cards back. Vegeta Warrior that cross time, 3-drop 15k counterattack, negate the attack and play this card. And during our opponent's turn, if our leader card is a blue Trunks Future, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. A 1-drop 15k attacker that negates is always really good, so we're only running a couple of those since it does have unique. Super Saiyan God Son Goku, pretty much everyone knows what this card does, or at least you should. If you're playing against blue, you're going to see it. It's a 6-drop that gets reduced by the amount of energy that I think our opponent has. Yeah, so it gets reduced in hand by 1 for each card in your opponent's energy. It does have a required cost of 3, so that's the cheapest that you're going to be able to play it. But it does negate the attack and gets played in rest mode. Has Deflect, Barrier, Triple Strike, and Unique. And if this card is in rest mode and our leader's mono blue, our opponent's battle cards can't attack our leader. So we're pretty much forcing everything that's not a leader or unison into this card. And with the great defensive cards that we have in blue, we can really push a lot of attacks into this and then get out of the attacks from there. Trunks Hope of the Saiyans, it's a 2-drop 15k. When it attacks, look at the top 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose one blue Saiyan among them and add it to your hand. We've got tons of blue Saiyans in this deck, so it's a great way to be able to search, and being a 15k means we can attack with it too. SS2 Trunks for a Brighter Future. This one's a 4-drop 20k, unique, permanent. If you have a blue unison in play, reduce the cost in hand by 2. If your leader card is a blue Trunks Future, at the end of your opponent's turn, draw 1. And we've got to activate battle once per turn for 2 blue energy. This card gets 10,000 power and triple strike for the battle. It's great that it's an activate battle, so we do get to see if our opponent's going to negate the attack or not before committing to that effect. A couple of the 2-drop 20k skill lists, which are a bit more relevant for the SS2 Son Gohan. So it's a 30k Deflect Triple Strike. We've got to activate main for 4 blue energy. If your leader is a blue Saiyan card, your opponent has 3 or more energy and you choose one of your blue skill-less cards with an energy cost of 2. Play this card from your hand. If you played this card, place the chosen card in your energy. And then we've got to activate main once per turn. Place one of your mono blue battle card from your energy in your drop area. Switch this card to active mode. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards and place them at the bottom of the owner's deck. Effectively working as a 30k triple strike dual attack, which is always really good. Tapion Savior from Another Time, the unison for the deck. It's a 2 specified cost 15k, is searchable off our leader. Auto, if your leader is a blue Trunks Future card, when it's played, you may add 1 card from your life to your hand. If you do, choose 1 card in your hand and place it face up in your life. So this will still work for our leader's effect, being able to reveal, which is great since we're able to kind of put the cards that we need into our life that we can then reveal and get the effects from, whether it's the Trunks or the Goku and Vegeta to get the extra energy. +1 auto, when your opponent attacks, choose up to 1 mono blue Trunks Future card with an energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it, which is a few of the cards that we just went over. So we've got the Trunks Hope of the Saiyans, the Skillless, and the 4-drop does get reduced if we have that unison. If we've got the unison out and we're resolving this effect, we definitely will. And then we've got the -2 activate main, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, negate its skills for the turn, and place it under this card. Again, some good removal if we need it as well. You'll notice that we're not running God Sealing or Heroic Prospect in the deck. The reason being is that this unison is a 2-drop, it does +1, but we find that unisons get removed so easy these days that if you don't have a unison on board, both of those cards are a bit more difficult to play. If you start getting into like the Boo unisons and the Trunks unison that, or the Baby unison that can +2 every turn, then it becomes a bit more relevant to run those cards. We've got the 8-drop Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. It's a 35k Deflect Triple Strike with Barrier. We've got an EX Evolve for 4 blue energy over a Vegito with an energy cost of 5, which you'll see as we get into the Z deck. If your leader is a blue Trunks Future card, when this card is played or attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and places it at the bottom of their deck. This is not a once per turn effect, so you can get this effect when it gets played and when it attacks on the same turn, forcing your opponent to bottom deck 4 cards. Super combos, we've got 2 of the Vegeta, 2 of the Zeno. Zeno allows us to recycle our energy if we do get those ramp cards that are going to get removed in there. Another way to get them back to hand, and we can charge something else. 3 Senzu Bean, apologies, 4 Dimension Magic Standard, 2 Chilled's Army, and then 2 Ultra Instinct Goku's Kamehameha. Again, pretty standard blue cards, along with the Baby Hachiyak. The Z deck, pretty standard as well for most blue decks, since we don't have the largest pool. We've got the Vegito, the Mai, and the Cell. So the 8-drop Vegito, we're going to be using the EX Evolve over the 5-drop. Having Deflect and Barrier makes it extremely difficult for our opponents to remove this card, especially at the end of the turn. It gets to switch itself to active mode, so our opponent's not really going to be able to attack into this unless we block. And when it attacks or blocks, it gives us more ways to cycle through our life to get the cards that we want in there. If we need another blocker, we can put the Trunks in there to reveal and things like that. So some great synergy with the deck. They've done a really good job utilizing some of the old cards for the deck, and as well as incorporating some new ones. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us how Gary did with his deck idea. I think he did exceptionally well. I know that he's going to be playing this deck, but it definitely looks like one that I might try as well. And we'll see you in the next video.